odd of 4 and dry boy odd of 4 and drum yidi ma Emma udi ska nti anaso no yebesa yeden yebesa awram na yasa ayibi asa yeden ndi amado hu di ekone di yeden di eba metuma ka chose still wo hwe international break na iguso a na yedi mu nkomo na ade a na arewosem bia to Chelsea anya asem keto akra arewosem to Chelsea ebe remedy arewosem na to Chelsea during this international break yede mu nsem bebrew saso ena games ahodo na Gennaro Gattuso say ono ena ye the Azuris of Italy head coach na ndro game ne Israel boy no enya asem keto a goals galore 9 goals thriller and a course wa enya asem keto akra Athens and as a game no ye the course wa me no ka say there the Azuris of Italy and you 6 point kulem e de go maka cha enya asem keto akra omune Israel no muni omoboy right Israel no muni omoboy nya Athens no omoboy enya Athens no omoboy mepe venue no e de amount na enya fa di agro kra Israel dey can share first goal and Italy bet share and Israel tie and chese Italy ye dey atwimu Italy atwimu be chese for 2 kra na nkofo na betete na ye 4-4 and abrati friend Tonali ni pa nko de bet some ya amani career and ne de fine player bobo too much bobo do ono enenya chese the winning goal at the the Azuris of Italy unso mu country bi am they are very interesting country many ji omo papa now mu consider goals pa nti yebe rem na afei na emu enhehye no yetumi e de abro hye no so sai eno Sweden for kwaji omani so Sweden for omukọ ekwaji omani so enya asem keto a Sweden for agi omani so otimunze Jokeres money abrante a yefre no Alexander Isak mo Kosovo ayo mo adwuma 2-0 no mo show mo Switzerland che Slovenia bon 3-0 saso na yes Italy and Israel no ekoye 4-3 otimunze yes omo ekobo match no pese me hu ba bi omo bo match no omo bo match no Hungary the Brazil and omo bo sa match no wo Denmark ekoshe Greece yes Greece Denmark hu omo 3 otimunze Peru and omo bo sa game no ho Peru and omo bo sa game no wonum Denmark ekokwachi Greece epomani so Damsgaard saso na Christiansen and Hoyland so no ebo go ne ba ko e de ma omo saso na Faroe Islands eche Gibraltar boneka ba ko ntumi ante Croatia for che Montenegro for this your performance na bafem papa Abrante friend Jakic saso na Kramaric and afi Abrante friend no Kus ono she ongo and Perisic e de ba ko kan 4-0 and omudigo Montenegro atena mu ma Croatia so ekoche Belarus ebo ne kamienu a omantumi anti ehonum ma memfa group Enfambro Slovakia another first 6 points Northern Ireland 3 points as soon as Germany was 3 points and Luxembourg and so was 0 points Switzerland at team 6 points almost 7 goals without conceding Kosovo 3 points almost 2 goals almost conceded 4 so as soon as Sweden 1 point and Slovenia so 1 point Denmark I already can 4 points Sasso and Scotland so no 4 points 2 teams in no be conceded goal Greece so 3 point Belarus initiate Iceland 3 point no mo bo 1-1 and no mo bo mo matches honum na afidi ho na dia bro nti hye no so pa France 3 points as na Iceland 3 point Iceland France no France bet if you know Iceland them abo Ukraine and so any Azerbaijan and Ekwakobo Spain at the kan 6 point Georgia 3 point and Turkey 3 point Bulgaria she And Portugal ebebo ni Hungary ebebo saso na Ireland ni Armenia edebe da so Portugal ewo 3 points saso na Hungary ewo 2 points. How much we make to catch us over 2.5 bebo go bebo sa match we Hungary ni Portugal omo bo bia goals ba brutal. Netherlands ewo 10 points saso na Poland and so ewo 10 points na group G. Group G hon komo any yedi. Finland ewo 7 points and Lithuania ewo 3 and Malta ewo 2. Bosnia Herzegovina was 12 points. Sasuna Austria was 9 points. And Romania was 6. Cyprus was 3. And San Marino was NB. National Society and Romania and Cyprus. Sasuna Austria and Bosnia Herzegovina. So much you move brutal. Norway was 12 points. Italy was 9 points. And Israel was 9 points. Which means Italy, I'm a coach in Israel, said, now all lose grip of a year group I. Na me no ka say and omunya 6 points no e kire din kulem omo e wo 9 points a omo hwe ni mu so omo tu no way e di afri hono na bibia akoye na sha say no way e wo match ne oni Moldova na ne halamu omo be gu Moldova for be 8. Northern Ireland and I said North Macedonia was 11 points, Belgium was 10 points, Wales was 10 points and Kazakhstan. Shannon said Belgium so they were losing grip of the group. It's almost pamo coach Dadano, how mode Rudy Garcia to me Edina Bano. Wales was 10 points, Kazakhstan was 3, and Liechtenstein so it was 0. England 12 points, Serbia was 7, Albania was 5, Latvia was 4, and Andorra was 0. And then England and Serbia bebo na yehu dear na pum din. Croatia was 12 points, Czech Republic was 12 points, and Faroe Islands was 6, Montenegro was 6, and Gibraltar was 0. And then fixtures no saying that here Azerbaijan and Ukraine bebo must win Edema Ukraine. Armenia and Ireland must win Edema Ireland. South Cyprus and Romania must win Edema Romania. Norway and Moldova must win Edema Norway. Albania and Latvia must win Edema Latvia. Sasuna Bosnia Herzegovina and so no must win Edema Austria and as a Bosnia omutu ni obi ahia win. Serbia and England must win Edema Serbia. Na yebehwe say England for everywhere kopupu omutu ama Serbia for shoma esomara. Hungary and Portugal enye easy sa match we be dim brutal. Saso and France and Iceland at the very da so ene na bibia so etumi akoye. Finland and Lithuania, Scotland and so ene okay ni nyina next month games no nti eno na mabobo ama ewo hono. Shannon say African games no so course African qualifiers. Tunisia no mo kochi Equatorial Guinea boneka baako. Tunisia qualify eye World Cup. Mozambique echi Botswana boneka mienu. Morocco ekoche Zambia sheni mienu. Guinea Bissau and Algeria ball 0-0. Guinea Guinea and Guinea Bissau chi Djibouti ball 2-0. Madagascar first half no more lose, second half on be share 3 e wini here. Malawi shemienu saso and Liberia shemienu. Uganda shemienu, Somalia and Tumiante. Ghana share baako, Mali and Tumiante. And Libya a share Eswatini mienu or Mantumiante. Say and a group standings no etie. Egypt 19 points. Burkina Faso 19 points. The Egypt here ne say obenya win ne o win a oni Burkina Burkina home no na kwa kobo o win a qualify. Sierra Leone 10 points and then Guinea Bissau and so 10 points. Ethiopia 7, Djibouti 1. DR Congo 16 points. Sasuna Senegal 15 points. Na enya seketwa hye so say ene fixtures na eba no emu odin pa. Sudan 12, Mauritania 5, Togo 4 and South Sudan 3. South Africa 16, Benin 11, Nigeria 10, Rwanda 9, Lesotho 6 and Zimbabwe 5. Cape Verde 16 points, Cameroon 15, Libya 14, Angola 7 and Mauritius and so 5. Eswatini 2. Morocco 21 points occur. Tanzania 11, Niger 7, Zambia 6, Congo 1, Eritrea 0. Ivory Coast 19 points, Gabon 18 points, Burundi 10, Kenya or 9, and Gambia was 7. The Gambia was 7 and Seychelles was 0. Algeria 19 points, Uganda 15 points, and Mozambique 15 points. Guinea 11, Botswana 9, and Somalia 1. Tunisia 22 points. Namibia 13 points. Liberia 11, Malawi 10, Equatorial Guinea 10, and Sao Tome and Principe. Ghana group I say that here. Ghana 19 points, Madagascar 16 points, Comoros 15, Mali 12, Central African Republic 5 points, and Chad 1 point. First chess in the here 4 o'clock here, Burkina Faso, any Egypt, ever and Yasem Ketua, Burkina Faso, any Egypt bebo. Na match omebo Wagadugu, and omebo sa match. DR Congo, any Senegal, and Yasem Ketua, also DR Congo. To me about draw and I say Utumisha Senegal. Now or still or remaining top of the table. Togo, any Sudan, and then we know because if they want to still be in contention, they need to win against Togo. South Africa in Nigeria. South Africa here draw. Alata mwe here win. I also winning the matches again not or who say. Omo protest be o baby. Tomo hear say protest no be call Ediatia South Africa na say omo ma fa ho alata mwe no mo so akobi. And then omo here victory at all cost. Cape Verde and Cameroon and also Cape Verde here victory at all cost and I say Cameroon. Say Cameroon person qualify also okoshe Cape Verde. E Cape Verde home na bibia to me Mauritania and South Sudan the bebo. Benin and Lesotho. Angola and Mauritius. Gabon and Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast that first na Gabon that second. Inti Shano so papa. Gambia and Burundi at the bebo and these are the games are way. Yan share a year the African win. You are na yanko and now the yan share Europe.
Okay.
Games no. What I say? Yan share dynamics no. Right? And Italy baby omudi omo ato no. Is it safe? Is it okay? Papa, your friend, no, Gennaro Gattuso by no. The first 2 games were winning in or then want to a good contention.
Yeah.
Yes, into Yansha no. Nafi, Yansha other games na Kaka and England near the idea. Yansha Ninam, Ivia near Africa, na Ivia Ghana in perspective from there 2:30 con near a Ghana giving them.
Yeah, I think say a lot of shocking results, especially after say Kosovo for a red card still beating started Sweden. Tima among Ilanga, Victor Gyökeres more LED lines no edia more and I think say football sena a lot of teams and so and a lot of good results after Germany Asian Ordinary Land and now Croatia so Timichi Montenegro Edineto baby I was say ultimate dineto Sansona Gabriel ne we mo game and also Israel and Italy very intense game out him say it me call so looking at how near my team I think say Gennaro Gattuso buy Mendy can say or born a normal 4-4 typical traditional 4-4-2 and so the intensity of play with Sandro Tonali Locatelli, Nicolo Barella, and he has a lot of players are fitted to that traditional 4-4-2 system. Now, with me, boy, but I know I say yes, and no game on boy. Israel for an LV up to expectation after they scored na Italy Babeti, then Omashi na Italy Babeti amana 3-2. Then Italy benya the 4th goal. Now for Israel for na sama Babeti 2-2 amana babe 4-4. Then the last minute goal. Can't get see from a brand and the Sandro Tonali from 7 minutes a referee to the 1 minute pepe and Omonia a year. That go looking at Italy standings. No, we had Norway a lead with 9 points. Italy, it was very good say Omonia that way because at least if they hadn't won that game, come on winning that game now they will fall short to Israel. I think Israel no ebenya a year 10 points now or no. Italy and so enya 7 points. So they did very well. So Mutimiko winning that game in such a very difficult game. Omunya or that necessary victory. Omunya and they are 3 points behind Norway. If you look at the games they will have to play, it means that now maybe Italy than other playoffs zone mo. And the matches and the team and they Norway be bono. He will play against Moldova. Fie. No asanso abo team and ding Israel. So Norway for Nangsangano. They have 4 games to go. After that 4 games to go, they would have to play Italy. Italy home. Then they will play Estonia. So Obeka say Norway they have 3 games arguably easy for them to win because they will play Moldova at home. They will play Israel at home. Even if Norway for no are willing to qualify to a World Cup, I believe that Haaland mo any Odegaard mo they can win these games. But the most difficult one, a game they will go to Italy or money Italy away. And do hono if Italy so list to or so it's me winning the next 3 games. That game will be the last game, and that group exciting game. So now Italy will have to play Estonia away, Israel home. Then he also play Moldova away. In the Italy away too, no about home too. Unlike Norway now, home 3. Then the last game will be. But then all this two saying now against Estonia away and against Moldova away shouldn't be a game. I will say a bit so much difficult for Gennaro Gattuso and Italy players, and also against Norway at home. I believe say especially in that group I will call the final day, and that game Italy Norway will be that decider of that group, because if you want to qualify straight away now we can go playoffs now Obia winning the game plus say Norway ebenya plus 9 points it means that Rebecca 21. Italy so ebenya plus 9 points on benya 18. So that decider, whoever wins that game will, and say Italy win Obeko same point 21 with Norway, but that is where they will use goal difference. But now that time no, if Italy good goal difference it means that he has to qualify ahead of Norway, and some of you goal scored and some of you head to head. So in Italy group in there, I think that how things are going in there, I mean they are in the right place. And also Denmark, they were able to win against Greece. In the no check it, Denmark and Christensen, Damsgaard, and then they Abranta and they Rasmus Højlund. These are players Omunya goes in Denmark. If you look at Denmark group now, Omo afraid of about 2 games in their group, that is in group C. Omo 4 points, Scotland 4 points, and Greece and Denmark for the show. They also have 3 points. In their group, very wide open. They have a lot of games to go. And Omo group to me, looking at how Scotland for the list to Omo games, now I see that Scotland more upper hand. Although Denmark every Eddie kind says because he will play Belarus, Greece, and also Scotland home. That will be the last game almost beat. So in that game and in that group very open say so a bit me a qualify. Also in Switzerland, quickly on Switzerland. Switzerland share 3 goals and Ndoye, that is Nottingham Forest for new player and Mbolo. More midway in the score sheet. Washa Switzerland already with 6 points. But then Adia Ebema Sweden financial action say Kosovo will win that second. If Sweden for to win, at least they would have been closer to Switzerland for. But now Switzerland are chimu with 5 points. Oshe Omo teams now they've all played 2 games, and they Switzerland games are akano. Obeko away. The next qualifier will be against Sweden, that is next month October. Now we was now Slovenia. Then the last 2 games will be Sweden at home and Kosovo also away. Until Sweden, so Switzerland the games not though was starting on a very good note, but likely the last games of Ebono and Sweden might very crucial, and that group 2 likely say Sweden Switzerland will also get the nod in those groups. So to me, looking at how almost understand Slovakia and Northern Ireland. Slovakia lead by 6 points on also about 2 games. So the next international break, that is where I think say Germany beba. Because if you look at Germany, they didn't start on a very good note. Almost first game to Slovakia for them, and they came in to win their second game. In the matches, looking at Germany, about losing back Obeko away to Northern Ireland. No Arsenal about losing, but then he will play against Slovakia, any other tabletop. So all Germany has to do is say now the 3 teams remain and the 2 teams remaining. That is Northern Ireland and Luxembourg. Try and secure the 6 maximum points and the 12 maximum points from these teams. And then Slovakia not sure that 3 points now. If Slovakia are supposed to win all their remaining games, Obeba home, you score him, then watch more goals now they're beating no. Now once what me either because Slovakia for more a perfect record 3 goals omunyan conceded goal and Germany for no 3 or no goal difference of 0. So they also have to stack up a lot of goals a bit to me at their bomb. Another group measure France they know and then on before international break because France 3 points, Iceland and so 3 points, Ukraine and Azerbaijan. In fact, France are winning just that Iceland for no share 5 goals, so they are using goal difference to be ahead of team and France. But then if you look at how things are going now, I believe that France will definitely get another. In fact, after a game on
to be honest, they were not as impressive as they should be.
It's first game, first qualifier, but they won.
Yes, they won. But you see, I feel say if na Mudrik ewo hono manka almost be shepa.
Mudrik Ukraine team no one.
Yes. Because you see the number of chances are at 1-0. The number of chances are Ukraine nya pa. E ba kupo the rap on nkra wie. They almost hit it post no. Then they were clearing the ball from the what is wrong with this France team? Because you see they don't seem I said there's the bite no would team no no me share them huni the steam would and I said the stealer was a what team no as I was a what team no me huni sir the way our teams it take you on the way our teams they attack you no the quality of one and the other no I think say look I don't know what is wrong with Air France side.
Yeah, they are definitely this France team. They are very young players. A France team without Griezmann, Olivier Giroud, who has been one of their key attacking players for them, and also Czech defense. They have their top of Meccano and Konate. These are players that they've played. Leipzig before Konate. Liverpool until Diet of Meccano. And so I call Bayern Munich. To actually more rating in that game, they have a very good game. I think say Lucas Digny in their defense was the least rated player or more defense. And then again, Kone and Chouameni, they have a fantastic game. They still have a lot of other good players. They can come in. It's one of these games. First qualifier, Ukraine a very good side. Although Ukraine has squandered a lot of chances. France a lot of game setting, but they did very well. Say, Omutim secure two win any 3 maximum. But looking at the Omu group, no, Listo, I say Germany don't lose the first game and go bouncing back. Although their performance was something. Charlie, we are not too good. We are not too good. So to me, if their next game will be against Iceland on what 3 points with a lot of goals in that game. I think definitely France will score Iceland. Then the subsequent games. So the last game against Ukraine on beat him so obviously. So to me in that group, I see France although the game against Ukraine a warning to them say how Ukraine boy say if omu take your more chances at least maybe in Kenya team that 3 maximum points in and from free game. Another one group Spain and Georgia and Spain actually Turkey. This is a game people believe say Turkey for now a lot of games they are unbeaten because before Turkey remember this game after in competitive games no Munyon Lusuye. Normal bad after losing to Montenegro in that game, the UEFA Nations League. Normal a lot of games are now Omunel. So people were hoping Ada Gule up against Lamine Yamal. In the first game, Spain actually game and the Omoche say in fact one of the teams going to the World Cup, one of the teams in Europa, the formidable side definitely you still mention to Spain team how they play defensively, the approach, attack. They have a very good team and your players now club side they also doing very well. I think Turkey for all they have to do is they have to try and be one of the second best teams to make a Kokobo playoff, but that number 1 spot in that group E I see it to be Spain's own number 4. Portugal and Hungary on the board I've seen a picture Now the last time Portugal and Hungary, but now Dominic Szoboszlai was one of the mascots. And they boy against Ronaldo. What he can't say on Ronaldo and idol growing up. So I mean, this is one of these things. Some of the players are more any that longevity. No, they give to some of the players. They were also looking out for Portugal, Hungary, Ireland, Armenia. It's a group that I think is just a grab for Portugal. For say, I qualify. They will play their next game. Then October international window. They will come and play against a year. Ireland, any other home games on betting about Netherlands, any Poland, they all have 10 points. Netherlands were 10 points, Poland were 10 points. Omo game on Bono. I mean the next international window. To me, in that group, it's always between Netherlands and Poland. But if you look at the matches remaining, especially between these two teams, Netherlands go away to Malta, or go home to Finland. Then we go away to Poland. That away no need Poland very crucial. And I see that game can be the decider. Send the American kind other groups. That game can be the decider because if you look at Netherlands, Finland, they can win these games, and also Lithuania, they can win this game. But the game against Poland, if Omu Lusua, it means that Poland call. If Poland lose Omu, but then whoever. It's a game end in a draw. Why? Ubit me next 3 games have about between the African boys in the group. Ubit me a lot of wins, and also bet me about I'm also waiting me. So in that group, I always tip Netherlands to get they're not there. Austria, Austria, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Romania, Cyprus, and the San Marino group. And so a group currently Bosnia finally did with 12 points, but they've played more matches. I'm about 4 games into more 12 points. But then if Austria for no, it's me winning a more game against a year Bosnia for now. They also moved there. I think that game has been postponed. It's about San Marino, Romania. So all Austria for now also means they have to make sure they won't drop points. There was already Bosnia for now winning a more game. If we drop a point, I want lead. But if you win, once wait me I catch up. I don't see Romania, Cyprus, and San Marino also catching up. Macan, Italy, Modiano. Then I think the other group I will say here so Belgium. Then Belgium, North Macedonia, lead with 11 points. Belgium bebo game. If Belgium ever draw Krana, Obekwa 11 points with goal difference. Obekwa top table. No, I don't see Wales, North Macedonia, Kazakhstan, any Liechtenstein for no causing a lot of havoc to a Belgium team. In fact, Belgium for they should be aware of Kazakhstan for her or more games, and then also England they were 12 points as at second place team Serbia no it was 7 points. It should be an easy route for England into the World Cup. And the last group I'm sure Croatia and Czech Republic, they all have 12 points, but then Croatia for a game in hand. And that game, and so if they're able to win that game, almost wait much more with 3 points, or more a lot of goal difference. So I'm tipping Croatia to also qualify ahead of Czech Republic, Faroe Island, Montenegro, and Gibraltar.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm sure European games in Munkakra.
Yes, in dry games because and I think one of the most disappointing results Sweden and the Kosovo game of course. No being himself share the firepower equita Sweden, the likes of Victor Gyökeres, Elanga, and Alexander Isak are on point me and start the game, but Babe joining, but still Sweden ain't Mimpo and share a goal. Now Oshe this qualifies. I think Sweden 2 games on my bone now they haven't been impressive. We had their first game on Slovenia, boy, no being himself. Sweden can get at least a win in that game. Out to make a ball draw against Slovenia. And then Kosovo. And the previous game, no, Otimi lose with a high margin. No being himself, Sweden better take advantage because Switzerland performance no was true. Sweden and bomb home the next World Cup they will miss out again, which will be one of the biggest topics because Ukuta, one of the 2 best strikers in the world, and they almost Arsenal and Liverpool. Now you can play a game against Kosovo with a bad performance here. It will be a very big problem for our country now in Yamanku, Italy, and in Droni, Israel, and so a boy. But I did about Meniaji or General Gattuso Italy team no say in 4 games on my ball, almost 12 goals. But conceding now problems is here, and Italy conceding more, which in him say the normal Italian national team they don't get to concede. Italy bet me in a game. First, now goals na no more share. So we be Italy be in a game. We be share 1-0, we be share 2. By bad didn't say Italy be concede. But in 2 games on my ball, I'm concede more. That is 4 goals. A problem. But now everybody is looking at are they winning? are they picking the point? And the most important thing. And they about 4 games. Other teams, Israel, any Estonia, Muna about 5-5. Into any Italy next game of Bebono. Ebema a leap ahead of these teams are bit me maintaining a fight for that first position on in Norway. Young guys say Norway, so they've been one country, players. But anytime we do World Cup qualifiers, omuntimi remain ometimi at first in your with the likes of Erling Haaland and a friend is Odegaard mo this World Cup almost bet me at present your more. Now share in dry, it was a good performance from the Italian national team. Going down 2. Ne obey equalize ebeti making sure say the third goal in the count. And sana team a friend Israel Sambe share a man scoreline in Mukotrin. Team Andra was impressed with their game was Scotland. Indra Osha or more ought ni nyaman na back is a game ni very difficult game among Scotland. But one thing I met me in who about the Scottish national team they say when they go into games, they make sure say they perform well. And they are having 4 points out of 2 games. Omun concede go here. And that shows the way on person mutimi qualify for the next World Cup. Even though said the likes of Denmark and Greece a big opponent but with 2 games not conceding and scoring 2 goals in their next qualifiers on Bono, they'll be facing tougher opponent and they as mutimi bomb home Switzerland in Slovenia after a good performance from a friend is saying Kosovo no now kwanya Switzerland say so mutimi picky win no mutimi topic group because Slovenia and Kosovo etimi Sweden if you then they need to make sure say they win. Almost when you're one of the impressive tournaments, especially the playoffs for me and qualifiers for me because in 2 games almost 7 goals with 0 goals conceded. That shows in himself Switzerland national team they do baby now for complain. He say I say they are entering into they are depleting because their performance more than they did in some World Cups ago, Euros, no, they put up a bad performance. They are picking up good wins and good results here. So now in their group, no that first. Kosovo with a win, impressive win at home against Sweden on Wababa second. Then Sweden and Slovenia 1 point each. Now Sweden also mutimi bomb home in their next games on Bebo because and if their next game momentum pick victory, then they will be out of another World Cup. It will be a very big problem for them. Share Croatia group and Croatia group on Montenegro 80 Jinemu Bondra. Group no 5 teams ne intino ebimu shesho mu ebimu ha qualifies no mumbo ombebo game obebo ba akupe ombo mienu se ne obi abo nti with their group no ometimi a chere say the 2 teams they've been to the World Cup before. That is Croatia and Czechia. And they leading with 12 points each. Now, Croatia say they can dominate this group and qualify for the World Cup. Go and replicate previous World Cup with dominance. No making me getting into the final, getting into the semi-final. And they with 12 points, we're winning the 4 games now. And now watch 17 goals with just 1 goal conceded. Czechia not done it. We know about 5 games. On also 12 points. In the Croatia next game no winia. On check ya the same number of games, but betimi 15 points. I think a qualification among in their next game. So here a big win to also get there. Instead the European football no games are called soon and I think the most disappointing results are investors call MYBET.AFRICA. I'm very disappointed. This will be a for 1.5 on the Kosovo and Sweden game. No. Apart from that, I'm call straight win Sweden to score and maybe we early payout any options are nano in draft Sweden need your my bro yeah. You ever in the next qualifiers send your almost coach in the bait me out to nyama ye no wait me beefy up team no. The likes of Victoria Crest any Isaac near Langa bait me abogo sama team na kunin.
All right. Yan share na games in England near the Abonti. Yan share na for yan.
Yes.
Senebe Africa.
Yeah. Inti any games and I think the English national team omne Serbia enable na Indra Mbeka said the English national team at that BBN edise omono they are one team and Thomas Tuchel befa team they are not conceding but they are making sure say they are scoring and their scoring is not that much. Omomu di say ashe 1 ashe 2 omu di win game. Ushe any game on Babeboa Czech Republic at home on lose here in their last 7 games. Interne omo that home dominance going into this game. Oshe omu group na England they decline with 4 games we winning in na ashe 8 goals in those 4 games. Remember say 2 per game on concede with 12 points. we Serbia enso about 3 we need 2 about draw baako and then you also share 4 on also concede into this fixture will be a very difficult fixture because both teams etimi ache say defensively they are solid and in the World Cup qualifiers so mumienu no be an concede so with this game so be call MYBET.AFRICA edinisika kwako 2 each this game will surely be an under game. I'm looking at under 2.5, under 3.5. England win or draw under 2.5 or 3.5. Option I made me a foul. With Hungary and Portugal.
No, how Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
We've seen a year the previous year we against Andorra.
Yeah.
But format is on conceded goal. Going into this game, what do people expect? Why possible players to start? And the options now we know say he's without some of the big guys.
Yeah. I think Ocean lineup now. I wouldn't be surprised so be repeating the same lineup or they call with Andorra. But the only player I think he'll be taking off Marcus Rashford, and maybe he'll bring in Anthony Gordon because also in the game now England overloaded. That is from the right wing. Noni Madueke with James Mo is the Echo supporting, and there were a lot of link up plays. Noni Madueke side that it led to a goal and also it led into an assist from that side now. So the right side was a bit vibrant, seeing the left side because of Lewis Kelly, Henry Obeba into the middle and also help way. But Osha Rashford didn't give the type of player na your friend is saying Ura Thomas Tuchel plenty. And you more say in the England lineup no na Anthony Gordon be more about replace player a friend or Marcus Rashford. With their team, I think I'll call with Anderson with Declan Rice winning Finfio because Anderson in the game on 100% pass accuracy. And now Osha distributions in Yama was good. Waba Ababe feel a bigger boot in this English national team. Now almost has a Watson of Crystal Palace na 9 care but with injury at Tony in the last game no when Timmy and Bambe Boyrim. So with the defensive line I'll see the likes of Maguimo a bit major any Darren Ben. I think if Mihun said Dan Ben and start the game more because there were some time during the game against Andorra he was a bit shaky on the ball. Into saying he said Darren Ben into me and start this game no anymore. You can see the likes of we friends and Kwanzaa coming in or Kosa coming in no Musu 8 ball. So I think with England Serbia it will be a difficult game. Where Serbia side now they like to go with a 3-5-2. Defensively solid. Oshe Petrovic being their goalkeeper and they obetimi that Paul Numamoma. I'm looking at they being defensively solid against the English national team. And I wouldn't be surprised that maybe England may get maybe a penalty or something to get a goal. But I'm not seeing a lot of goals in this fixture. Because me say England will go into this game trying to attack more. Serbia will go into this game trying to defend more. Sending Neo keep a lot of clean sheet at home. A lot of clean sheets also in this qualifier. See, I wouldn't be surprised a game maybe a 0-0 draw or maybe an England win of 1-0. Ma share Hungary and Portugal in their group. Okay, Portugal a lead group no with 3 points. Hungary no or more on the verge of winning a game. Cop him say red card by on the Ireland or more ball so 2-2. And I think say in that game people didn't tip Hungary to go on and win the game. Because I share odds about MYBET.AFRICA and they in semi course where ultimately say everything was back in Ireland. So mbeti me Hungary, especially playing at home. But in the first 15-20 minutes, Hungary to me have 2 goals. Showing say yes, they are coming into the game and dominating. But at the back where home said the red card and also 1 or 2 changes on my set up, they were being defensive to try and make sure says and they start 2-0 now no lead, you know, on beti me their query, yeah, but Ireland better money 2-1 then game no stretch on their side the only team and the dominant in this competition ababe so no the Spanish national team and the Portuguese national team performance wise ometimi 5 goals in this competition and it shows the way the likes of Ronaldo, Pedro Neto and João Felix mo person mo ball no make sure say Portugal gets into the World Cup ne Ronaldo so ometimi age the World Cup they are retired. This game will be one game. It will be a very difficult game for Hungary. I didn't make us answer. Hungary in their last 7 games, keep it clean sheet here. And the Portuguese team, almost every time they are scoring goals. Portugal is giving 2+ goals in every game on Bebo. Into Ukoshia team, clean sheet keep here. It means that this will be a game and we may see a lot of goals in it. Portugal in the last 3 meetings with Hungary now with Timmy Asheno. That shows how dominant Portugal beat me. Now, The last 3 meetings the least that Portugal was a World Cup qualifier were hungry home or 1-0. That was the least goal that Portugal shared. Apart from that, it has been 3 in every game. Into this game, I wouldn't be surprised, say, so become MYBET.AFRICA, the Portuguese national team would come in with all cylinders flying, say they can beat the hungry team. Make sure, say, they can send a possible win into the international breaks a bit and I'm tipping Portugal to win this game. And I wouldn't be surprised seeing an over 1.5 over 2.5 from the Portuguese national team. The hungry team, defensively, they are not that solid. And they are goalkeeping in, so I think there's a lot of problems. So I wouldn't be surprised seeing a team like Portugal scoring more goals against this hungry team. With France and name Iceland, yeah, Vincent Bobo also kakra, and with these two teams, conceding in this World Cup qualifiers in their game on boy, hungry to me put up a good performance against Azerbaijan, which I think on any day and a surprise because Azerbaijan bear the whipping boys in the group with mission 5-0. France, I'm not convinced with the way they set up. I'm not convinced with the way they play. And also, Minim said Didier Deschamps now he's missing out 1 or 2 players. The team not click there because France previous games on my bone now Utimu say they find it difficult to convert chances. More players in the likes of Olise, the likes of Dembele, the likes of Desire Day, Kylian Mbappe, Chouameni, Mubebo, but getting the ball into the pool now very difficult. Into where their Nations League, so more boy coming into this qualifiers more brands and no go against Ukraine. Create chances. Ukraine more chances, but they missed a lot of chances. 1v1s. The likes of your friend is saying Bracula, a nice pass from Olise, Ekomano. It will miss out. This will be one game. France have a lot to prove. Didier Deschamps, France on the last 5 games against Iceland, lose here. The best that Iceland they draw. Now draw na Iceland was a friendly game in 2018, and open Iceland team didn't draw. So this will be a game. Odds ne back France to win, but Adebako as an investor show was a France team no. Go Shana Babe style be. Inti the last time a bigger victory over Iceland was a 4-0, and ne we friends in Europe qualification we boy no share 4-0. And they going into a game the last time share 1-0. So and they say, oh, come MYBET.AFRICA. This will be one game. Odds ne France sa. So bear wagins all the be count and now bear say shifty odds back maybe over 2.5 and then yama be say bibia betimi akoye. But I'm tipping France to win and also to score at least 2 goals in this game. The likes of Dembele, Muntimi, but Desire Day, they've been injuries. Into Kylian Mbappe, Olise, and Bracula would have to step in and make sure some betimi to nyama ye. And that France national team, it's me a form to my pay fry. Yeah, Azerbaijan ni Ukraine. I think Ukraine in Swaba share the whipping boys of the group, and the Azerbaijan the last 10 attempt on it, the last 10 attempt matches our bon team winning BI. Into Ukraine, say onunsu timi mianini etimi winning big against Azerbaijan. But one thing about the Ukraine national teams and the last 8 games of our bono, on teaming keep it clean sheet here. So this is a game they need to change that statistics because Azerbaijan on goals. When the last 5 games of our against Hungary per enotimisha goal. Apart from that, or concede 2 against Belarus, or concede 6 against Sweden, or concede 5 against Iceland, and only Austria ball 0-0. And the best results are winning in the 5 last game against Austria. That was a 0-0. In Ukraine, Oshana or Itimbia, Belgium, and France pen their matches are winning to me and Shego. And this will be one good game for them. Say their group. Ono so betimi wini no I hear say France ne Iceland say France timi share Iceland say Ukraine ne so pese otimi occupy that second position so timi share 2 getting to 5 goals because Iceland share 5 into 5 to 6 goals and say Ukraine share. This game I'm tipping Ukraine to win even though say away to Azerbaijan a difficult game moment. This is the first time they are meeting. I'm tipping Ukraine to win and also Ukraine to score at least 2 goals in this game. To become MYBET.AFRICA, Ukraine win over 2.5 in full game or Ukraine to score 2 goals. I think that last game I mentioned Armenia and Ireland game no. Ushom group no they are the 2 teams nobody's tipping them to go to the World Cup and they only Hungary and Portugal. Both teams in their game Armenia 8 lose to Portugal 5-0 and then they all go home against Ireland. Ireland is to team between a draw. Ombe Madrid say they can put on that good performance in the draw munyai. Ne ometi me abo more modern. This will be one game Ireland performance omoda nedi against Hungary no. So ometi me that last 40 to 30 minutes performance omoda with a lot of crosses into the box, making sure say omo number 3 be he's very good with the ball. Saying cross the ball into the box. Omo introduce 2 strikers be during the game. They perform so well. Into any coach in me I replicated the same thing, getting those 2 players in the game, getting a lot of crosses. They can worry this Armenian team. I'm looking at this game. Ireland win and 1.5, and Ireland win or draw 1.5. I think and the European games, games will be high. We are my MYBET.AFRICA. Unso bet me a face sky ye pan.
All right. Mumiambra African continent, so my say I beja. It's yen share na me van say be the last 20 minutes and here dedicated them a blast.
Yeah.
It's yen share the general overview from 100 games, so and net matches na eba no Ivory Coast. Okay, Ved omu nyina teams matches ebe baso ene no. Eyan asem keto Senegal mu nyina ene no.
Emobo.
Omu gina kono a from 4 ya ebe ye gidi enya asem keto akra metuma ka che say Kenya share shields 4, Namibia share 1, Sierra Leone share Ethiopia 1, Tanzania and Niger 0-0, Rwanda share Zimbabwe 1-0. Now Burkina Faso and Egypt, though Burkina Faso allow my Egypt atrim with 5 points.
Yeah.
If say opese oyi Egypt free well so winning there. Na point in the 2 ahead of the last 2 games Cape Verde so Cameroon the same thing.
Yeah.
DR Congo and Senegal the same thing. South Africa ne alata mo for no and so no the same thing na Gabon and Ivory Coast. Me share yes how much is we any 100 and half.
Okay, see share Africa there na yen touch on the games are win or go out games na ebe koso no. Ye hwe Burkina any Egypt. O share this group as any kind Egypt atwim with 19 against 14. Yeah. And they Burkina bo home yenim say about the African game mostly the obo home no e wo upper hand compared to the Obabebo away game. Nti ene say Burkina per se otimi stretchy na especially that second spot no. The beba kwa qualifies no betimi kutemu year and they so otimi pick a good results against the Egyptian national team. And then him say Egypt tournament we mu no. Emu group no team a washe goals pan Burkina. Washe 18 goals. Egypt ashe 16. Meaning say Burkina goals in your goals share nyom den. Go share any den crash. So this will be one game. I'm looking at Egypt. Ebena Jane said a draw will be okay for them. Burkina. And I'm not expecting a lot of goals because Egypt will go in say game yent me winnie away game yent me winnie there. Let's get a draw and be comfortable. This fixture one fixture be Egypt and lose in the last 11 games awabo. So I'm not expecting Burkina to have a win against the Egyptian national team derby. And also Egypt in the last previous matches against Burkina now Kwakwa. So this fixture no a baki Egypt Basenia kind with the tournament and also the qualification send ye keka kono. Egypt team me nko Burkina nko energy so ko biem ene na kwa akobo because a lot of pressure to Egypt too on the day. So Burkina nya that early goal now they would like to maintain it and make sure so no subet me apeki. So I'm tipping this game to be Egypt win or draw. I'm not seeing a lot of goals even though so both teams which goals are both teams are sure. They've scored 35 goals among them in this competition. But I'm not seeing a lot of goals. Into make for Egypt to win or draw, say maybe an under and an over. I would go for a full game under 3.5 or under 2.5. Yen share Cape Verde and Cameroon. Almost group number be very dicey. 1 point between these two teams. And then Cape Verde and Ebo home. And this tournament, I think Cape Verde are surprising me. They showed glimpses of Nyamon Betimi from the AFCON boy. And the Ababira, the qualifiers, in modern ball modern India. They've played 7 games, they've won 5, drew 1, and also lost 1. Almost 9 goals. Though say Osha group numa Cameroon nabo goals 15 goals out of 7 games. Oma conceded 4. Inti Osha, this will be one game. It calls for a lot of goals because both teams obianti mi nyana dwen say game na mi komu no mi nya draw me pe because Libya etaichi with a win for Libya, said draw back game no ma. Libya winning the game because 17. Okay. Meaning so only Cape Verde Babinyan the same point. Na enewa pa Cameroon if the game ends in a draw. Into with games like this, it push both teams say young Konkope win no. And Oshe with Cape Verde, they are one team they haven't lost in their last 5 games, 5 matches on my ball. And Cameroon on the other hand is so having lost in their last 13 games on my ball. So this will be one fixture. Both teams with a good record coming into the game to make sure so Moons will be team more. But I'm seeing goals in this game. Goals in this game. Oshe dia Cape Verde, they've brought in 1 or 2 players on beat me about the same as Cameroon, the likes of Brian Mbuemo, any Onana Mo Hormones beat me making sure be a beat me. This game me call for me come and MYBET.AFRICA. The option I mean who say bema me a lot of me all team peja 1.5. In their last in their last 3 games on my bono, it has ended in 1.5. 4-1 for Cameroon in the last return leg, a 1-1 Cape Verde home, and also a 3-1 win for Cape Verde. This game shows that surely there will be goals. A 1.5 or a Cameroon win or draw. Optional meet me afa MYBET.AFRICA. You share South Africa and Nigeria, and I think you share this qualifies this and next games this is one of the best game will be because in Nigeria so qualify for the next World Cup. They need to win all their remaining 3 games.
Nigeria.
Yes. To win all their remaining 3 games. Now all their remaining 3 games winning is 33 South Africa. So.
Okay.
And it will be very difficult for them. And they are missing Victor Osimhen. They are missing Victor Boniface in their team.
How? You know, so Osimhen will pry again.
I think
maybe in a transfer. But looking at now, he was sorting the transfer, and looking at Victor Osimhen injury, so could be to my friend as an emergency.
I was looking at say, because this South African game, the Nigeria bought and going to South Africa to win, and had South Africa for also win. So the game was stretched in a way say both teams here win, but on the day intimacy.
Yeah.
Intimacy. So wow game we here and then Rwanda they lead by 1 goal. Then Nigeria tear back that 4th in the group. So Rwanda ending the game now, meaning say Rwanda Benin no Super Bowl can go ahead of Nigeria. So Nigeria need at least a draw to maintain that 2nd position and no.
But to be honest, Nigeria for now, only omo kasane who check how omo ready omo nyama now. They are targeting a win. They still think that they can get ahead the top spot because of omo believe said there is a protest be 3 points be that baby they are hoping say a year Mokwena you be many deduction so that they will take ahead the first position. So that is their target.
So was any deduction of 3 from South Africa. South Africa will still be on 10.
Meaning to if they bid, yes.
And then nobody be a crucial game among both sides. South Africa should say that 3 points in is here. What is their fate? And almost very much you say they need to pick them. South Africa in their last 5 games, it will feel lose.
Okay.
Shows the way or no supposed to point to the game. Now if you're team their group Nigeria, they are not convinced when it comes to goal scoring. But what's a big game? I say just 8 goals. It's just the recent game when we run the ball with team shape 2 goals. That shows say even though with the firepower we put on Lookman, Boniface, Victor Osimhen, Iwobi, Simons, they've not been able to get the goals. And South Africa, they're the highest scoring team with 13 goals. They've just considered 5. This will be one game as South Africa Bernard will be at home. Welcome Nigeria and make sure that their best for Nigeria will be a draw. Until this game will be one game, so we come and MYBET.AFRICA. I think the safest option, who's the odd team will be handicap of 2 for Nigeria.
Okay.
The best to pick for. And 1 point and under 2.5 under 3.5 is also likely to play because already the South African team they are not conceding and they are making sure say any game be on the board they are conceding less. Most of the games are conceding 5. Until they wouldn't like to concede against the Nigerian team the likes of Victor Osimhen, Boniface moving. And I think if South Africa to lose this game, I'm over sure because the likes of Benin ball the game or 11. Say South Africa lose Nigeria Benin 13. then they say South Africa point deduction in Baswa. Benin can win today and top them. So this both team can win, but the win cannot go unless we have Benin ending the foot today. And I think from the Benin side that this is one game they are happy to play. Okay. And the America said they are happy to play. So Lesotho in the qualifiers, we need just one game against Zimbabwe. We lose with 3 about draw 3. That 3 draw includes on Nigeria. So when they say Benin with the wins of most in Africa against some of the big countries, they were group. If they win against Lesotho and one concede 8 goals, that means Lesotho concede at least a goal per game. Benin on the other hand, also what was 7 games, also at least a goal per game. It's a Benin to me that goal, crucial goal, no to me defending here. Obeko 14 points, and that second spot beat me in India going into the playoffs, and I think they'll be very happy to get into a World Cup qualifiers. Say they are not beat me up for ball the home of the world. So on the African continent, any games are possible. I think these are some of the crucial games and things they involve in what they show me straight in the ball. The last game I met actually on Ivory Coast and Gabon, and I think of the group near one of the most exciting. No game is the Ivory Coast, but truly, but Coach Gabon and they've shown they can also go good to good with any African country on the ball. Gabon about 7 games, we win 6, and one lose 1. We share 16 goals with what conceded 96 goals. Ivory Coast on the other hand is where we need 6 about draw 1. She 15 goals without no conceding. And this game, a difficult game for Ivory Coast traveling to Gabon. I'm seeing a full-time draw for Ivory Coast. Because Ivory Coast, Ben, as you said, going into this game. So on to me, share the on conceding.
Yeah, recently
virus and first one or your mom into so DR Congo no na second one ya media manonhwe no fambra on say DR Congo ni Senegal group enra menya time share more group no how near my see about tight it was a group if you look at DR Congo and Senegal group na listo DR Congo in that first with 16 points. We share 11 goals and we concede 3 goals. It means that the goal difference no 8. Now Senegal 15 points. Or the second our 10 points, we share 10 goals and we share 1 goal. Listo. Before a game start yet, announce the stadium stadium why still look at the number of people outside the stadium.
Where one match?
DR Congo and Senegal match.
Okay.
Stadium na your mount. Announce some of the speakers any other sound system about them power chow. Mamujina Hanina stadium na yema. We cannot afford to allow all these people to enter into the stadium. Abra yenim say stadium na yema.
No go about in Kromsambe stadium this
yes,
might be more.
Our Kinshasa. Start the matters. How do Mokakobo game list to? Now stadium na yema. May transfer virus the another footage of the game, and this game because it's going to be one of the biggest games, especially in the African Championship qualification to the World Cup. And DR Congo for you see, AFCON now month will be now who the team they are currently and how they've been doing their things. They have a lot of quality players. In fact, we check on last bare 12 games. They've lost just 2 games. In AFCON, I think some go through quarterfinals, and I think Ivory Coast. I stand to be corrected. In Group A, they were in a group with Morocco, Angola, Mono qualified. Edeko Benin, NNA, Amokoya. They even won against South Sudan. They may now quit their mom listo. Now, when they stadium number 360, but still, Cinnamon man can you put a go up because they're coming to play against Senegal. And if they lose this game, they getting their first chance of qualifying to the World Cup. Mikacho was saying this World Cup, if you look at 10 African countries qualify for World Cup now, most of them at the second it's not over yet for them. But DR Congo, if you look at their squad, they have a exciting squad. Players playing in the big Omo Wesamo, Omo Cedric Bakambu. They have even Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They have big names that they can punish any other team.
And it's Tuanzebe crack.
Yes. Tuanzebe. So essentially, if you look at Omoa, they have a very good squad from Mbemba in midfield, in defense, and in attack. They have big personalities. Then they come to play against Senegal. Listen, this game will be very difficult for Senegal. Probably it might be very difficult for them to get a win because they were Congo for say Yemraso and they stand for us to at least go to the World Cup. See the number of people I'm call in numbers. I'm call supporting their Congo for. In the world to better Senegal, Mikacho say yeah rebet.
But the history between these two no as DR Congo has not beaten Senegal since 1969 or so.
And mention say Wakaya. The time I'm sure these 10 African countries are Amako World Cup and the kind of group they are in and how they make on. Micho say there's first time for everything. Yeah, Ghana for those days, Nigeria for the Tunisia, ni Morocco for the Satibor World Cup. We only got our debut World Cup in 2006. But since then, we've been up there. Say first component African teams na Yeko World Cup. Na 4 pay. Na ba kwa playoff na 5. Right now they are extending. But since you a debut in 2006, we went there in 2008. In 2010, in 2014 Yeko and 2018 as a Yanko and Qatar the Yako 4 times. So DR Congo, how Busomayo Mutin, Oma will do that stage, So Senegal, if they underrate them, and look at the atmosphere. If Wisamu, anyone Bisaka Money, Cedric Bakambu, and say they are going to play even 60-70% how they displayed on performance in the AFCON, it's going to be very difficult for Senegal. So probably the only best outcome for Senegal in this game will be a draw for them. Senegal still have another chance of making that qualify because DR Congo for Senegal for home is I got 3 games to go. On both way we are Senegal for the home. If you want to qualify, you have to beat them in the DR Congo. If you want to qualify ahead of Senegal, Ocean and now call home no shower, you still be ahead of him with 1 point. But one shadow now call Senegal no shower. It means that you still fall to one of the teams or more experience and pedigree in the World Cup. Kakarabi on Nigeria and South Africa. Nigeria for no complaint say South Africa for no upon infrastructure. Any near more in a number of stadium any more complaining. But then Victor Boniface, I think say we should give Emmanuel Akordari. That is the new striker your way. It's your ball, Mabos, no about Genk. Last 2 seasons, he scored 12 goals for Genk. Last season, he scored 23 goals alone at Genk. So they believe that Victor Boniface, he's been struggling with injuries, unreliable. They have to move on. Even apart from Emmanuel Akordari, they also have another striker here, Rangers, Cyril Desires. He has also been there. So despite So despite the fact say Osimhen Ejinamono, he took that Emmanuel Akordari to come and score the only goal Nigeria in their previous game on boy. Now Victor Osimhen Epra, aka crucial game against South Africa. Do we believe that Victor Boniface can be the decider in that game? Because Boniface the last 15 games he's not been playing. And Boniface's performance in the national team. Akwa question no now cast Semenyo there and say Semenyo or club side or back club side or club side he provide or show goods but national team just like Inaki Williams. So if they have a young and upcoming striker, because I remember you mentioned say we had Afnejan, a young striker who was growing into the team, who was giving us results. By you're dropping Inaki Williams, who we believe that our experience or that exposure no, but Emmanuel from Genk and you about Wolves playing in one of the toughest league. If you compare Wolves with the Bremen, do you think say you rank with the Bremen ahead of Wolves? No.
Well, as to be or
no, they have 2 strikers. They almost they caught 3 strikers. And Osimhen Epra. So even if your friend Boniface grabber, this to Okakobo Nigeria buying a car, Okoda hotel, or Beji winning bonus because he won't provide anything in this game.
Okay. We share Nra Ghana. Nra, what game next start here? First of all, more impression about the lineup. Let's look at the lineup. the atmosphere, that is the attitude of the supporters, the lineup, tactics are coach in the real game anymore. And how a game no echo in the first half, then the second half, after go nearby, then after go nearby, then canning in ambo.
Okay, in team, I mean, starting free the lineup a bar in draw, and I think say we shouldn't be surprised with the lineup. We say Uncle Fobi complain. He said why playing at home and go for a 3 and 5 at the back. But I think say coach behind any tactics and any plans and you'll be going to game. And the name say a boat to adu echi. Me my babet na have a boat to adu echi. Say the way or set up the team, the way I team the bobo no me who plan be me who structure be. But I think say in draw game no. Mebo to ado abaso se nipa ni deserve abaso body na now the amano because e do baby na nyama nkobo ni e be kan tia no. And with the lineup Kwesibo coming in was something and Ghana for baby expect to say any here DM obetimi aba be cover Aboa Thomas Partey won finfio and Ndra obey mu no be born homodin with 1 or 2 ball be now to say he was shaky on the ball, but apart from that no any simple or making sure say born baby say could be a ball player Ndra or ball mommy in the setup was Caleb Renchi. And I think say for a longer time we Hans Edusa pair any John Paintela yetimi another right back and we can rely on him, especially defensively.
He's not
a right back.
Yeah, he's basically a midfielder.
Yes,
yeah.
But I think Otimi Bo the right back defending, going forward, coming in between Tell Babe Boa, Amabibiakoye, and the front three. I think going forward, no. One thing I can say in our next call-up, positions mienu. In our next call-up, positions mienu na mpese Otuado free ene ekopim October 8 and October 7 ebebono. Esi etimi hwehwe nkofo mienu no mutimi beginem. A left back and also a striker, an out and out striker. I think say ya Mrs. Ade we ache. You're going to games, we'll put Semenyo up front, and yes, Semenyo and yeah, try Jordan Ayew, and yeah, try Naki Williams up front. These 3 players are not natural number 9s. They wouldn't give you that box presence, that running in behind now when you striker hono. In draw, Osha lineup no, and in the lineup, Semenyo was playing as the number 9, and there were a lot of things. Game, I was frustrated because Osha running in behind runs be no it wasn't good for a player. And on any day, a scout be ba ebe Semenyo Black Star gamer maybe on recommending him more. There were chances Mohamed Kudus to me drive a ball, looking at him positioning himself, sending on the ball number 2. Then he's just running way behind the defender, which is something Otuado, the technical team, Obibiaro, we need to look out for strikers. Say, ne say Jerry, bet me about that number 9, bet me about that focal point. They should give him the chance to play. Any striker be out, bet me Gina, is our box present, no. I'm making sure so Bell box no more home then we should get them in. And also the left back position I'm a ball. So I think say it's either say Gideon Mensah be too confident in that role because of less competition.
Too comfortable, right?
Too comfortable, yes, in that role. And now less competition anyhow. Because during the game, Onya Bola, he's just trying to anytime the ball Beban in change, he's just trying to cross the ball into the box. And now say ball in Beban, his passing range wasn't convincing for me. In TNA, we need to get another like me with Kuhn. Me bomb Derek Kuhn. Yeah. Yes, me bomb pie said the FIFA we don't beat me and sort. Then maybe he could also come in.
Bomb pie.
And I said the find by Anna. Timpai bonne better each. The bomb by the FIFA beat me and sort near no to me who do beat me their brain in the national team. But on the day, formation wise structure, me who be from Otuado, me Nigeria. And me who say we are doubting him. Though say to me, you qualify World Cup na me enim nukreni. Yes, he pay coach for the World Cup. But on the night he delivered.
Okay.
And I was happy about it. I didn't America say against Mali, we shouldn't be expecting to go into the game and dominate. So Mali record, free time new coach for team now, they are performing so well. And from press conference from their coach Niche say they weren't expecting Ghana to set up this way. And the best for him, I know who he said was in a draw. But before the game, he was talking confidently, said they can beat Ghana. So it shows how strategically Otuado in the technical team, it's me massy, it's making sure say Mali for in 15 on the ball game, they couldn't do it. And one thing I mean who in the game from the start, and they say we were attacking in a 4-2-3-1. Senior normally a boy in game no. So you could see say we have friends and Jonas occupy that right back. Then Jiku Enes with Salisu occupy center. Now for the Gideon Mensah Abba, that is the left back. Then Sibu any Pate Ewon Finfino. But in the first half, the only issue we're having was the positional play of Mohamed Kudus. Because team needs set up, especially with a 3-back, then you almost shifted to a 4. Net is in Finfino be a 4. Then that player know about that 10 from the right, you know, also back about one Finfino, which were missing out in the first half. In the first half, they were dominating in the middle. And anytime we are best forward, no, our numbers up front is. But in the second half, we said that mistake was corrected. And Thomas Partey was getting the ball into the middle more for Mohamed Kudus. And who said he was dominating in the middle. But if do that time, no, na ahwade then Abafem. I know to me and drive ball in the baby. But he did what he could do. There were 1 or 2 attempts to team drive a ball in him. And one thing I liked too about Otoado on the night was the substitutions, which I see say a lot of people are complaining. Say I didn't know we Jordan are you. I didn't know you Mohamed Kudus. I didn't know Semenyo the end I mean I didn't know you baby. But I didn't know you Mohamed Kudus. I didn't know you Jordan are you. Now me remember so I think say Jordan are you, the attitude of Danny after being substituted was wrong for a captain. I don't know dear coach Nekache, and I don't know what happened there, and I don't want to know because in the end, you know, born with TV so radio commentator and visuals na no Emma who say and captain no as any buofu to nensa ade se coach ne ben no ene ne kokasa no mpo no mostly who players so but the moment a coach ne ben na kokasa no bo se player na ba fem but coach ne kokasa ni ku see still ebufuo ni wo ho pese okotenase. And that brings the conversation around say Inaki Williams be bobo as a players ne ninje. And that substitution was Jordan for Inaki Williams. Me mpese ye be drive that motive no say and Inaki Williams team no born impo no nkofo eni nje ho. And our team no born nya boy mpese ye man pass. I don't think say any professional player will be on the field of play ebe single out one player as a player we nya boy ama me fama no. But we are still building out that narrative because of our reactions here in Freema and as a BBC will game Numa. And I think say coming back to the substitution, that substitution was the best. Obioti a commentary in Dra. Asema na me catch everything. So I'm looking at Kamaldeen coming in. I'm looking at maybe Christopher Babunsu and Joseph Paintel. And maybe Naki Williams. Because I'm looking at say from the 70th minute, if Felicia another one goal, we need to sit back and defend well. And if you are defending well, how are we winning the fouls? How are we converting those balls into chances? And who were pacey wingers and our pacey forwards were bench. So bringing them in was good. Now, Osha on the day, I think Kamaldeen and a ball to Ado Abro. Because the game should have ended in a 3-0 or at least a 2-0. Then Ghana for because it was a comfortable win for us. Then because a 1-0 near Petri. Because a forward, when your ball, you could see say on the far right, your player is available to pass the ball to. Kamaldeen going into the season, and they say Black Stars, enya way Isawa Kuba, enya Nyamaba, and he doesn't start game or he doesn't get a chance to play. I don't blame him. Especially going to Atlanta, you're going to replace a player like Lukman, who was one of their best players, scoring goals for fun. Unya chances now missing is here. You get people coming for you. And the tactics or the plan of them coming in, stretching the game, getting those chances here, but with our decision making, one from Kamaldeen, the second two from Joseph Paintel. Cause those 2 goals are nan kebeti me ashe. Nandra madam forbidden bet which them. Or come and MYBET.AFRICA kucha gan over 2.5 thousand cedis, so be 7,500. Kamaldeen Joseph Paintel intino. Went me in this canoe, and it's something it worries a lot. Coach Nibe Bibia, there are times that we may blame coaches for tactics. There are times that we may blame players for not making the right decision and do it to me high. But on the night, I think that Ghana, I wasn't expecting us to dominate. Yeah, perform me na Bibia to me koye. Mali for they came into the game trying to use the middle because omuhu game against Chad. Same fin a week, so they wanted to use the middle, but yet me stop you with Kosisibo. I think Wadani this ampa. he can come into the Black Stars and perform ahead of the likes of Elisha Owusu and Salis Mohammed.
I think how we approach the game, the most important thing of the game, was to win against a Mali. But this international break, we were hoping out of that 2 games, and Kayenya Kradi, Ebenya 4 points out of that 6 points are near that hono. So when we lost, we drew against Chad. A lot of people were saying and I could lose Chad because people know the tough opposition and opponent, Mali. And Mali, a history with Mali, a team I mean, a shed, but honestly, a team he has a very good record with against Ghana. Your group, none of the teams are qualified to the World Cup. So meeting Mali was something a bit. But I think yesterday's game, the post-match from Mali coach Thomas, he was saying he was surprised Ghana didn't go the natural 4-back system. It means that we respect almost so much that they could have seen any difficulties behind the game. So that 3-back system, boy defensively, but then the goalkeeper has to be up there the late game somewhere. And Madi can say, watch the last minute pressure. Mali for this year as well. And yet away and your home game and the Ghanaian supporters were not charged up for these players. I think and Kebeka could be, but then kudos to the coach Enra. For the first time I saw a lot of communication from Desmond of maybe the cameras has not been capturing it forever. But no, I didn't who Desmond of any walkie-talkie, or the video analysis. You be time to catch them say why don't they be a lot of engagement, and they did that very well. So yeah, we did everything possible to stop these Malians from scoring. Coming back at you say before Ghana game, normal last 8 games, Omar winning now without conceding a goal. So the most important thing is that we stop this Malian team from scoring in their last 8 games, and we also let them concede for the first time in almost last 8 games. So we did what was needed, but I think going forward, if you want to stick with this 3-back system, to be very honest, players never more as the right wing back and the left wing back. Gideon Mensah needs at Wafa or attack out to say this is a complete level, but I don't know what has happened to him, and the overlapping and the underlapping it wasn't good enough. Hirenchi and that typical right back to also or any more or no so and other people in film, so we were not getting that width, players holding the weight. That is your fullbacks holding the weight for Jordan and Inaki in the pocket space, and even with the addition of Thomas Tepper, to me, possess a lot of attacking threat to them. The least chances clear chance be I think Semenyonya boy and Sokoye, and we proved that with when Jiku is in. This is not the first time Jiku actually headed goal, especially in the Black Stars. Because I said Jiku Baba, he will help us, especially in the set. And I think that it was quite unfortunate saying more than 7 corners against Chad. Yentime utilize it, but meaning say one aspect I want Ghana again. Say when we are playing now in set beside, especially corners are who Thomas Partey or Jikwa. Normally, am that edge, and we were able to win that game. To me, I think we played very well. Although against Chad, in your possession, you control game, but then we didn't secure the 3 maximum points. People talked, but what near matter was that 3 points. We managed the game very well, and we got the 3 points. There's no anything about being blinking. Although Coach Otoado changes and money man can. To me, I think between Kudus and Jordan, are you one of the players who could hold on to the ball and slow the tempo for us at the needed time. And that pressure is here. So centrally, or you're moving everything. But then the change is not here. So was another tactical decision that we now can capitalize on the pace and speed of these 2 wingers or mobile, and even with the addition of Inaki Williams, who's also another player for speed. Into Russia, you have 2 clear chances. Now, team they are double your lead as answer at 3 goals, but then there's no chances. But we also saw the effects of how such change is not the buy. A goal a bit, but then defensively or how to your game management, it's also affecting in some way. But despite the fact that Benjamin Asari is saving a lot of goals, so I think the most important thing was the winner. Arguably that 4-pointer. Now from this international window, nyame aduma next month October 10th yebesa ba we are playing against Central African Republic omo bo mu home no they play at Morocco nti virtually new grounds but this is the Black Stars kwakubo new grounds neutral grounds against Chad and Sudan yemfe no yastic but it means that we have a higher chance kwakubo against Central African Republic. Mali coach after the game I say Black Stars we played with 13 players because fans and atmosphere was electric and something I believe say about Black Stars players though kwakubo against Chad na say Central African Republic or Morocco na so mutimi and for that needed omunya that atmosphere and I think say will be a plus for us. Then our game against Comoros who's also in a race also bet me action. And then if you look at Madagascar and Comoros, people are omudi echi or more paying. Maybe we can even win against Comoros, Central African Republic. And our last game against Comoros, Satana, Madagascar, and Comoros, we are good to go because at that time, the results of that outcome, everyone who say you qualify and I young qualify. So that 2 games are very crucial. That one, we are also approaching that game with just 4 points in that game.
Okay, moment share also. Media was say media big teams now I think say like Ghana and Mali no. Me under 2.5. So Gabon and Ivory Coast under 2.5 first half. Full time. Mauritania and South Sudan under 2.5. Burkina Faso Egypt under 2.5. DR Congo Senegal under 2.5. And Vet and Cameroon under 2.5. Then you know all of 7. Now 8 cra.
Okay. In terms of selections, 8 odds. England, anyway, Serbia. England win or draw under 3.5. France, any Iceland. France win and 1.5. Hungary, any Portugal. Portugal win over 1.5. France then over 1.5. And with Portugal any Hungary then Portugal win over 1.5. Egypt, any Burkina Faso. Egypt win or draw. And DR Congo, any Senegal. 1.5 code no XJCY MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay, my selection for the day no me start with France and Iceland game no. France win and over 1.5 goals in that game. So and a Portugal and Hungary game no. Portugal double chance and over 1.5 goals in that game. Norway and Moldova no a straight win for Norway. Serbia and England double chance and over 1.5 goals for England. And another game I ever saw all the African continent. So South Africa and in Nigeria game no make under 2.5 goals in that game. So and Gabon and Ivory Coast game no over 1.5 goals sa game no more. Nti code no I think say that many issue nti Uba Sports Arena on Telegram code link na be also beat me. So these are the selections more for any.
Okay. Nyame adom na adom dum otena yeba na afedi aka na nyina yeba be wura yeba wo games ni so ya na wura club football mo na bibia tuma koye oti team ni nyina enka nyame adom ebe hia yakra mo.